Legal action has been threatened over the AEW All Out Backstage Fight. Plus, an AEW Star won an Impact title last night at Bound for Glory, and a WWE Hall of Famer made a shock wrestling return to Impact Wrestling last night as well. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Oh, this All Out Backstage kerfuffle.
Still going on. Still going on. Still going on.
On we kerfuffle. The wrestling...
Still going on.
Some say...
Still going on.
Some say the All Out Backstage press conference fight was the friends we made along the way.
Sometimes on a moonless night on the moors, you can hear it on the wind.
You can hear CM Punk eating muffins and kicking off about his colleagues. The Wrestling Observer saying that Tony Khan told Variety he was unable to comment on the situation with the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega and CM Punk, saying the investigation is still ongoing. And the Observer had been hearing that there had been a decent amount said about that behind the scenes. However, legal action had been threatened, which was stalling everything. Nobody has been let go yet, says Dave, including Ace Steel. There's no time frame for anyone to return at this point. So we'd heard there was going to be an independent investigation into the shenanigans from All Out, and I guess the threat of legal action has put the fear up people.
Well, I think the whole thing not being over yet is, that kind of explains why nobody's been released. I figure the second that there is a clear path through it, that will be the thing that happens potentially. But the longer it's going on for, the more I feel like it's just gonna somehow impossibly fizzle out. And I know that's like really wishful thinking that in, say, 9 months' time, they're all going to be back on the roster together again and just working. But I just, that's where my brain is now. It's like, I'm just going to think that's going to happen, and then whatever happens, happens. But it just feels like, we're at this kind of impasse, aren't we?
And it's a shame that it's all this, and we were talking about this week with the stuff with Andrade and Sammy Guevara and other bits and pieces. It's a shame that the backstage nonsense is taken away from the in-ring nonsense.
And it's sort of it's just sort of, there's all that speculation like, oh, what is the Sammy Andrade thing will work and all that, and it's like, you could see it that way, but at the same time, it does just make the company look really unruly, unlike anything kind of goes there, and that it's a bit lunatics running the asylum. So I think that if it was a work, it's kind of counteractive in a way, but at the same time, if it's real, then that's some very serious issues going on backstage. So
there's no win either way.
We know people were shuffled into talent relations roles, like Tony Schiavone is, I believe, one of like the senior talent execs now or something. So there's a lot of shuftying going on to try and make that connection with talent stronger, I believe, but only time's going to tell.
We will keep an eye on that one for you. It was Bound for Glory last night from Impact Wrestling. Thank you if you joined us for live reactions with Adam Pacitti last night.
If you missed it, it's on the channel now.
Yeah, you can watch Adam kicking off, as people try and call him. No, naughty boy, Andrew. And we saw...
we need to have a word with him about it.
I think there's a strongly worded email. Is that his third strike? Who knows? Let's talk about some of the debuts, some of the returns that we had from last night. Former WWE Star rocking up on the pre-show.
Yeah. And guess who it was, Tom? Guess who it was?
The actor Christopher Timothy.
No, it was big old Dirty Dango.
Dirty Dango.
I was just inexplicably so happy when I saw this. I was just kind of scrolling through Twitter, trying to nod off, because I knew I had to be up for news, and I was just kind of scrolling, and there it was, and it was like, yeah, this is the best.
Some say you see his hips first when Dirty Dango walks out. Now, he had hinted that he'd signed with a major company in the past month or so, and I guess that signing looks like it's going to be Impact Wrestling. He was answering the open challenge laid out by digital media champion Brian Myers. Unsuccessful in his attempts to win the belt, but I think Dirty Dango on the book should be interesting.
Yeah, he's somebody who I think... I don't know. It feels like he will take anything he's given and run with it, especially given, the initial gimmick of dancing in WWE and then leading through to everything with Breeze, and then Fashion Police is just some of the best stuff we've seen in quite a long time when that happened. So he's somebody who I feel has that little knack of reinvention. It'd maybe be quite nice to see him tackle something a bit different in Impact.
We also saw an AEW Star win an Impact title last night. Congratulations to Frankie Kazarian, who's got his own strong history with Impact/TNA. He became a 6-time X Division champion last night, defeating Speedball Mike Bailey in a belter. Bailey can't have a bad match.
This is the thing, like because we obviously have the account and everything to watch stuff. So everybody else is using it, so I'm watching it tonight. I've heard all the hype about this one, and it's on paper, it already looks great. Kazarian, Speedball, it's going to be off the chain. It's going to be absolutely wild. And X Division, come on, like the history of the X Division. This is also the 100th title change, I believe.
Yeah, Cage Match says that obviously Cage Match also counts vacations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All I ever wanted. But Cage Match is saying that this is the 100th time that the X Division title has changed hands. It seems appropriate since its introduction in 2002. Also, the Death Dolls won the Knockouts tag titles last night. Taya Valkyrie and Jessica defeating Vexed. 57 days, Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo had those belts.
I've heard this one's also a fantastic match.
That was a good one as well, from what I hear. I was not sure about Valkyrie and Jessica as a team to start with. I've enjoyed how they've developed, and I'd like to see some more. What a surprise that we had as a shock return to Impact Wrestling. I wouldn't have called this in a month of Sundays.
Yeah, not at all. Certainly the last name I was expecting to just pop up, and that name was Bully Ray.
Bully Ray.
Former Pacitti Club member Bully Ray.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in the Pacitti Club. I forgot that was a thing. Incredible. Yeah, so Bully Ray, a surprise entrance in the Call Your Shot gauntlet at Bound for Glory, ended up winning the whole thing. It came down to him and Steve Macklin, and Bully Ray beating Macklin, earning a title shot at an Impact title anytime he wants. He did a video after the match saying he's going to use this shot to become a 3-time world champion, because lest we forget, Bully Ray is a solo star.
Lest we forget, he was a 2-time world champion.
I should have done. Lest we forget, Bully Ray is a wrestler. It was
that wasn't all. It wasn't just the appearance, was it?
It wasn't. It wasn't at all.
It moved on to kind of tease.
Yeah.
So he teased joining Honor No More at the end of the night, but instead teamed up with Josh Alexander to fight them off.
Yeah.
So, long history of being a heel in that company.
Oh, gosh,
being a contemptible individual as Bully Ray.
Leader of the Aces and Eights.
Yeah, siding with Josh Alexander, this could be quite an interesting little prospect.
I love the stare down that they had where Bully Ray says, "I'm the most legitimate challenge to your title you've ever had." I was like, yeah, you kind of are.
Yeah, you're a big threatening man.
You kind of are. And he's massive as well. I
was not expecting, because I expect all wrestlers to be very tall, but then when I met him, I was like, whoa, super tall.
Big lad, and him and Josh Alexander at some point down the road are going to hook up. Bully Ray is back on Impact TV, coming, I presume, next week, because tonight they're taping in Albany, New York, and he's teamed with Tommy Dreamer, who took a DDT off Raven last night during Raven's Hall of Fame speech.
Nice.
Raven went, "Our feud is now over." Psych, bang. Good times. So Bully and Dreamer are teaming up to face Ace Austin and Chris Bay of the Bullet Club.
Nice.
And that kind of establishes Bully Ray as back, at least for the time being, in Impact Wrestling. I think this is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a curious enough thing that I think might bring some people back. Because his work was really good. I don't want to say that his time in WWE was kind of one note, but the Dudley Boys did what the Dudley Boys did fantastically. Devon had maybe the bigger solo breakout in WWE, and then by the time it's Impact and Bully Ray, it was like a whole new world.
A new fantastic
I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. It's not even 10 o'clock.
Not even 8 minutes and he's singing. We'll have more wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.